Yo, it's Fredo Saga. Live your own truth to create your own saga. So today we're basically back to talk about how to live in security and live in freely, right? We need to learn how to take out all the compounded external things that are trying to come out, internally, so that it doesn't affect us inside within us, right? We need to learn how everything in the physical realm is trying to come and trying to best our internal worlds, and how to maintain it in a disciplined way, right? How to maintain it in the top priority, how to maintain it in a healthy environment in our own temple, because our own temple is how we create everything, bro. We don't want to ruin what's in top of here, because once we do that, bro, how are you gonna think clearly, right? How are you gonna live life clearly? How are you gonna live life freely? How are you gonna live life expressingly of yourself? If all these things are trying to calm down, right, and you can even be yourself, because at the end of the day, you're still thinking about other things that don't even matter, right? You're manifesting things, or you're putting attention into things that don't even service you in any sort of way. So how is it that we can move on in a different essence instead of us trying to, put attention to everything else, right? But not receiving everything in return. It wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't make sense, and I'm pretty sure nobody wants to be trained like that, right? And that's exactly why you're watching this video. So first thing that we need to go over is stop tripping, right? Stop tripping over shit that don't even matter. And the reason why I said stop tripping is because tripping, like what is known for tripping? You falling down. So why is it that we gotta bring ourselves down when certain experiences come in our way, right? When unnecessary things, unnecessary environments, or people just trying to get in our ways of growth, right? Or it could be anything. It could be anything they could do, right? Just try to fit this in. Every description that I'm trying to display here, try to fit them in your own life, so you can at least make a effort of, shifting something different, right? Being self-aware and trying to like do different things that can help you. And right here in this topic, right, we're talking about stop tripping. And why is it that we gotta put ourselves down when certain stuff that happen in the physical realm, right, that happen in our world is not even our fault, right? It's not even something that we brought out to ourselves. And a lot of people dwell into that, right? A lot of people tend to think, oh my gosh, life is, coming at me fast. Or number two, damn, God is like, he's grounding me right now. He's putting me in trouble, right? Or number three, like why is it that I do certain stuff if I'm just gonna keep failing, or I'm just gonna keep, going through a lot of shit? It doesn't make sense, right? You're putting yourself in a victim mentality, and once you do that, right, your own mind will find comfortability in within that essence, and that's what you're gonna keep manifesting over and over. Because every time you go through something, right, even sometimes, right, even when sometimes a good situation happens to you, right, we tend to be victimized by that. Oh, why me? Like, do I even deserve this? You know what I mean? So your mentality or your perspective will not be sparked up, and you will live in a life of circles, right? It will just be the same thing over and over, right? And you will feel like as if life is taking over you instead of you taking it over, which is the complete opposite, right? Why would you want the world rule you when at the end of the day you're ruling yourself this whole time, right? You're making it seem as if life is putting you in positions, right? But at the end, that was you, right? That was you, first of all. So when I mean by stop tripping is that we tend to put everything down in the pedestal, but at the end of the day, we don't realize where we at, right? You might have thought that that experience that you went through 2 years ago, or you might think that the situation that you went through 3 days ago, put you down in a lower position. But at the end of the day, you're not being self-aware that you've been above it all. You're still in a position that you can still change it up, because at the end of the day, we are humans, bro. We're not perfect, right? At the end of the day, we're not perfect. But the power of the human mind is that we can shift anything at any time, right? And this is the whole point of the video. We don't want to dwell into things that create our reality for us. We want to create our own reality, right? And once you're so convinced into something, once you're so convinced that it's not you being the victim, right? It's not you thinking that life is running you over. It was this whole time that it was your own belief, it was your own perspective, it was the way you thought. You would shift everything, and that is the key. That is the key of everything, because we're above everything that happens in the physical. We're all above it, bro. We are a spiritual essence, right? So once you detach yourself from certain shit that's going on in your physical, you will realize how powerful you really are. And that is the key, bro. That is the key. And that is the message of it all, right? So number two is build and create a foundation, right? So what we want to do, we want to practice positive, right? We want to practice peace. We want to practice that harmony of peace, right? Of abundance, right? We don't want to live in a world where our emotions are just fluctuated, right? What do you think a lot of people tend to cleanse their mind before they start working, right? What do you think people, or let me just say this important thing, athletes, right? A lot of people watch sports. How do you think athletes prepare themselves before they get into the game? They cleanse their minds, they meditate, right? They visualize their important keys, their important skills, and they try to implement it in the game. And that's how they run through, right? They don't care about what's going to happen in the future. They care about what they create in their own minds. And that is exactly why I, said this out loud. Build the creative foundation, because what you want to do, instead of you overthinking, instead of you, creating false scenarios in your own head by the overthinking negativity, you don't want those two combos, bro, because at the end of the day, you're going to manifest it. And that's how it works. That's how people tend to always manifest the opposite way. And when they try to manifest a positive thing, right, it doesn't work because their beliefs is much more stronger on the negative than the positive. So what we want to do is build and create a foundation and start shifting that belief. Start shifting that peace. Start shifting that positivity. Start shifting that world around us how we want to create it, right? We don't want to create a world by overthinking, because what leads into overthinking? Overthinking just leads into false scenarios, right? That we don't even want to agree that wants to happen, but they end up happening because our beliefs are stronger than our own thoughts, bro. Our beliefs are stronger than our own thoughts, right? So once you give empowerment into your own beliefs, right? Once you see something negative or you're overthinking and you're like, damn, you know what? That's gonna happen, bro, for sure. This is why I probably shouldn't be here. And then it happens because you literally just called it out yourself. You were so confident that it was gonna happen and you didn't do anything about it. You didn't even contradict it. So how about you start doing that in the opposite way? How about you start doing that in the positive way? You know what I mean? So moving on forward, yeah, building creative foundation. So how you can do that is basically training yourself, right? Rebound every overthinking thought as if, let's imagine ourselves just overthinking, right? Oh my gosh, I'm too scared to walk up to this girl. Shift it, bro. You know what? I'm gonna see if this girl, is cool. I'm gonna try to get to know her and see if it's, we can get to know each other more and proceed. You know what I mean? So start shifting it instead of overthinking into a negative scenario. I mean, that was just kind of like a normal example, but you can use this into anything, bro. And start cleansing your mind. Meditate. Stare at white wall for like 5 minutes. Don't do anything for like 10 minutes, bro. Get off your phone. Stay silent, bro. Stay silent, and you will talk to you the most for yourself, right? So number 3, be disciplined with yourself. You need to be disciplined on maintaining your own self, bro. You want to be recognized. You want to be known as someone. So maintain that. Be disciplined on that, right? So you want to be minded, right? But at the end of the day, you're letting small shit get over you, bro. Right? You're a so-called discomposed person, but at the end of the day, little shit like that will make you go crazy, bro. Will make you mad. Will make you put you in a bad temper. Will start making you think differently, right? Negativity. But at the end of the day, that's not going to service you. That's why you're watching this video. Nothing that comes in the wrong way, it goes downwards, you will go downward too. And it wouldn't make sense for you to start thinking that way, because it's the opposite of what we want to achieve. We want to achieve success. We want to achieve acknowledgement. We want to achieve security and freedom. So how can we be disciplined with ourselves to maintain that and live secured and freely? By living secure and freely in our own beliefs, our own convictions. It's not about what they say. It's not about what the world is giving us. It's not about how you think the world is treating you. It's not about how you think God is treating you. No. It's about how you treat it, right? It's about how you see it and how you stay disciplined with your own faith, conviction, and beliefs. Those 3 keywords is the important essence of how you can achieve your own security and freedom. because nobody can take that away from you, bro. Only yourself. But once you let people take that away from you, once you stop materializing other people's words, right? Once you stop materializing social media bullshit, right? Once you stop materializing all that shit, bro, you'll be good, bro. Trust me, you'll be good. So whatever you want to believe on, you want to believe on. And that's the only thing that matters. Do not give a fuck about what they think. Do not give a fuck what he thinks, what she thinks. It only matters what you think, bro. And that's how you move freely and secured. So discipline with yourself with that, bro. Discipline. Learn how to be disciplined with that, bro. If you see someone contradicting on what you believe on, and then you're starting to believe what they're saying, you're not being disciplined, bro. But it's also a case where, you can use this to anything, right? I'm not here to tell you whatever you want to believe on is false. I'm not here to tell you whatever you want to believe on is true, because I don't even know what's right or wrong. That's not my information here, bro. So whatever you want to do, that's you, right? Whatever you want to use for this, that's you. It could be anything, bro. That's not my business. I'm just the ones, speaking here, right? So moving on forward, it's mental freedom, right? So all these little circles in our brains is basically our backhand thoughts, our negative thoughts that we pay attention to whenever we're like in our lowest state, right? Whenever we are like silence, we always have these like little talks. We always like, a lot of people tend to say demon talks, right? Or those sinful comments that come to our mind that we pay attention to whenever we're like trying to do something, right? Or trying to be positive or trying to work on ourselves. And it happens, right? But why do we pay attention to them? Why why do we care? Our thoughts are just thoughts. So why do we pay attention to this shit right here? Right? All those right here, the circles right here in the brain. Our job is to take them out, right? If we want to live freely, if we want to live in security, why not be secured of our own mind and take them out? Do not pay attention to them. Let go. Okay, you thought about it. You pay attention to it now. Oh, you're such a bitch. Oh, bro, you got no hoes. Oh, bro, like, honestly, bro, you shouldn't be going to the gym, bro. You're too skinny. Okay, bro. I can change that. I can change that. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, you can change that. Trust me, you can change it. So why is it that we have it in our own minds and maintain it? We're doing the exact opposite. We're doing the exact opposite. Oh my gosh, I went like this. We're doing the exact opposite, bro. So instead of us being disciplined with ourselves to maintain a good energy, to maintain a good, healthy mindset, right? Why do we maintain a negative mindset? This doesn't make sense to me, right? It never made sense to me. That's why I make videos like this, because all this negativity shit, it never made sense to me. I never paid attention to it. So I feel like all this shit right here is easy, bro. For me, it's so easy. Like, I get over shit so quick. I let go of shit so quick. I don't let shit from the outside try to externally or internally get me over with, affecting me in a negative way. Because I know how to run through it, bro. With my sparked perspective, right, and perception. Those two factors of what saved me a lot from me dwelling into the negativity, dwelling into shit that doesn't even matter to me at the end of the day. Like, it really doesn't matter, bro. So move on, live your own life, bro, and live freely. Express yourself more. Do not be disciplined with bullshit, and clear your mental freedom. The mental freedom, number 4, is just basically you taking out every negative thought. Just taking them out. You pay attention to it, okay, boom, whatever. I'm done with it. I'm done with you, bro. It's like, you ever hang out with a person and you realize that they're really not, who you thought they were gonna be? You were like, man, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. You know what I mean? I don't think this is gonna work. So take the thoughts like that, bro. Or like, for example, like if you're talking to your old ex, right, and you thought they changed, and then you meet them, like, man, you know what? Nah, somehow you just got worse. You know what? Just leave, bro. Just leave. You know what I mean? Like, bro, pay attention, man. Be clear. Be healthy. Take care of yourself, bro. Prioritize yourself. It's always been like that. Always. So, number 5, it was just a simple factor. It's all about you. You. So, what I want you to do is just basically pay attention into yourself. Pay attention to your actions. Pay attention to the way you react, the way you respond, the way your perspective is, the way you think, the way you talk. All those things are connected. It's like 5 senses, right? Smell, hearing, talking, movement, whatever it is, right? All this shit contributes into living in security, living in freedom. So if you think this is bullshit, then why do you think you're living in a bullshit mentality when you letting negative shit get to you? So you don't believe that you can shift that into positivity? You don't believe that you can shift that perspective into abundance now? Right? A lot of people tend to say that this is bullshit. A lot of people tend to say that this is not gonna work, but that is exactly what your mind wants you to think. That is exactly what your mind wants you to think. They want you, your mind right now is telling you, bro, this shit is bullshit. I'm not gonna listen to this guy. That's cool. Hey, I'm just giving information. I don't care if you don't fuck with my information or not. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to be wrong, right? At the end of the day, this has helped me. And this is what has helped me maintain such a good mentality and the way I am and the way I'm so confident, the way I introduce myself, right? The way I stand up for myself, the way I show myself and integrity, right? With my truths, with my beliefs and convictions. And I know what I want to do and I know how I think. And I'm much more self-trusted, right? Instead of me joining into bullshit that is trying to create me, but it doesn't. Because everything externally is not what creates me, bro. It's everything that creates me internally. So think about that, right? And that is exactly why I brought this. It's all about you because it is about you. So if you want to take this information and you think you fuck with it, go ahead. But if you don't, womp. It's not my problem. You know, it's not my problem. So I just dropped this information, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here feeling like little baby and shit, you know, dropping the anyway. But if y'all fuck with it, y'all fuck with it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just go like the comment, bro. Subscribe, and let me know how y'all feel, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about this, you know? If y'all have more questions, let me know. But it was not talking to you. I know it's been a long time since I posted, but I'm back on this bitch, so peace.